Welcome to the 12 Guiding Principles of Pre and Perinatal Psychology. Hi, I'm Wendy Anne McCarty. Imagine a world where every baby is welcomed, loved, nurtured, and seen for the amazing, conscious, aware being they are from the beginning of life. As these babies grow, so does their capacity to love, to empathize with others, to be in relationship, and to live in joy. As our first generation matures, we see the ripple effect grow to encompass greater learning capacity, emotional intelligence and creativity, the emergence of new leaders and healthier families and communities. Our potential is unlimited. Pre and perinatal psychology has been studying our earliest development in babies for decades. And this field brings a very significant new understanding of babies because they've been studying it from the baby's point of view. We realize babies are much more conscious, much more aware, much more sensitive, and that preconception through birth and bonding really is the most important, most path-setting developmental period of our lives. Pre and perinatal psychology brings new ways of being with your baby, being with yourselves, starting family. It gives a whole new level of possibility of human potential and thriving in relationship to your true self, who you are. I've been working with families for over 40 years, 30 years from the pre and perinatal perspective. It revolutionized how I support families. I've seen hundreds of families who came in with challenges and difficulties and sad stories and things that were hard and fears, and we using the principles from our field and our way of working consciously with babies and families. And I've had hundreds of families transform, literally go from surviving to thriving. I have a family I want to tell you about. They're thriving, but it didn't start off that way. It was actually quite complicated. They did end up with 3 triplets. They were categorized as a high-risk pregnancy. They were in a traditional medical environment that didn't see this as a possible way of having more what we call the midwifery model of care. This family was so grounded in living the principles from pre and perinatal psychology. They brought that to the table of what was important, what they valued, and worked with the medical team to look at possibilities of how they could combine these viewpoints. They ended up having to be delivered at 32 weeks because one of the babies had stopped growing. And the family said, we want to give birth vaginally. This is so important to us, and we want it to be the least amount of intervention possible. And the staff supported them. And she had her babies. She delivered those babies. And then they needed to go to NICU because they were 3 and 4 pounds. And they stayed there for 3 to 4 weeks. And it was a traditional NICU that really didn't understand. In fact, they didn't even understand very much about skin-to-skin care. But the family knew about it. The family knew how important it was. The family knew about how important it was to talk to their baby, to be really present with their baby, and the full range of feelings that could come up as really significant. The baby's telling their story. And many other of the ways that we work with babies. She nursed all 3 babies. That was the first time the staff had ever seen someone nurse 3 babies in NICU. She was teaching them this whole new way of being that they just hadn't seen before because of their training. It was just in a certain set. These babies came home. We worked with them to process what that huge experience for the whole family and for the babies in the NICU. And now they're thriving. They're happy. They're very mutual. They're very grounded and present for long periods of time. They have very little distress. They're doing so well. And the family and they are doing so well. So I want to tell you about one thing that we have made for you is this. It's a brochure, and it's the 12 guiding principles of prenatal and perinatal psychology, nurturing human potential and optimal relationships from the beginning of life. We distilled everything what we saw from our findings, like what's really important. What do we really see as the new early development understandings? What do we value? How can we help families and professionals helping families know what's really important from this new perspective, understanding from the baby's perspective? And what are our basic recommendations to help guide you? So we have these 12 guiding principles, and we have them in a brochure for you to have for your clients, for your community, to take to your doctors, to give to your family. They give us a common language and a place to orient together and to talk and to learn and explore. You'll see a button for Appa Store where you can buy the physical printed brochure in English and Spanish. You'll also see another button. We have a dedicated website for the 12 guiding principles. And you can get digital brochures that you can distribute to everyone you want in 4 different languages: English, Spanish, German, and Italian. And we hope to add more. So we encourage you to use those to help you orient with this new field, the findings, and how they can give you new references of what's important and how you can help your baby and how you can have that good beginning. And when things happen, when you can find that healing and transformation to thrive. I hope I see you along the path. Thank you so much. Bye.